Hello, beautiful people. I know it's been a while since I posted on here, so I wanted to be sure to get on today and get a video posted and make a quick little announcement that every week I will be posting a new video every Thursday at noon. A new video will be uploaded. So if you are not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and you'll be one of the first people to know when I've posted a new video. I am Alexie and I want to welcome you here to my channel. I am a licensed professional counselor in the state of Oklahoma. I actually practice here in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, and I do a lot of relationship counseling and working with teens and their families, and I love it. Love it, love it, love it. I love relationship dynamics, whatever the context of the relationship. And there's so much good stuff in there that I absolutely love to do. And I love working with teens because it can be a really cool time in life. It can be a really terrible time in life. I mean, it's just a lot is going on. And so I love helping and supporting teens through that time in life. And then of course I love working with them and their families, because again, the dynamics in relationships and all of that stuff is just so beautiful and wonderful and good stuff. I am also a life coach, and I specifically work on personal development with female business owners over in my Facebook group. So if you are a female business owner and you are dedicated to your own personal growth, like personally growing and moving forward and changing habits, that's primarily what we focus on over there in the Facebook group. So you can join us over there. It is called Personal Development for Female Business Owners. So I wanted to get on here real quick and just share a quick, sweet little nugget for you all and kind of explain some kind of cool concepts. And so first of all, I want to talk about what is commonly called core beliefs in the field of counseling. Other people have referred to it, like in Dr. Phil's teachings, refers to it as tapes. And then Brene Brown, if you're familiar with her, she refers to them as gremlins, and which I love her name for it because I don't know, it just resonates with me. So basically what I'm talking about is this whole concept that the way that our brains are wired, we are wired for story. So when something happens and we don't know why it happened to us, we will write our own story of why it happened. We'll write our own narrative of why this thing happened. And then from there, we kind of create these little gremlin thoughts or beliefs about ourselves because of what we've experienced and because of the stories that we've written about ourselves. So that's kind of like a small little blurb about that. I could probably do a whole video just about how they're developed, and that's not a bad idea. Maybe I will. But I want to kind of go over some key things about that. Okay, so a lot of times I'm just going to refer to them as gremlins because I totally love that name, and Brene Brown is the one who came up with that. So totally giving credit where credit is due, because that woman is amazing and phenomenal. And if you do not know who Brene Brown is, please look her up. She's got a great TED Talk, and I think she's got actually more than one TED Talk now. She also has a special on Netflix right now, so you can look her up on Netflix and watch that. Please do. It's so good. The work she's doing is so good. So anyway, gremlins, these nasty thoughts that we have about ourselves, and every human being on the planet has them. They are grounded in shame, and that's no bueno, no fun. Nobody likes that. Nobody likes sitting in shame. It feels awful, right? So anyway, you know, these gremlins pop up. So when we're going about our day, we're going through our life, something might happen and one of the gremlins pops up. Like, let's say you're at work and you make a mistake on a project. That gremlin pops up and goes, "See, you're so stupid. You're so terrible. You're such a failure. Look at you. You always make mistakes." Rah, 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 rah. Ugh, what a gross, awful, terrible gremlin. And that is not helpful for you in order to fix your mistake, right? Because then you get into this like shame spiral and you just like can't even function, right? Can't even think right. And then, so oftentimes what might happen is if you entertain that gremlin, if you feed that gremlin, and what I mean when I say feed that gremlin is like when these thoughts come up, you entertain them, you think about them, you focus on them. When you feed a gremlin, what happens? It grows and it becomes bigger, and then now you are acting out of all of these terrible thoughts about yourself. So a lot of times what happens is when you're beating yourself up over a mistake, what happens? You make more mistakes because that's what you're focusing on. You're focusing on the mistakes that you're making, right? Kind of makes sense when you think about it that way. If you've never thought about it that way, there you go. So there's this whole concept. Yeah, like what I said, like what you focus on grows. So if you're focusing on all of your flaws, that's all you're going to see. That's all you're going to feel. And oh, what a terrible, terrible, awful, no fun existence that is, right? So what can you do instead? Well, what you focus on grows, right? So you can do your own work around what these gremlins are that pop up, what they say, where they come from, and then you can do your own work to kind of come up with an empowering affirmation for when these specific gremlins come up. And honestly, I have found in my own personal experience with these awful little gremlins is that it helps to counter them with a question. You know, like, you always make mistakes. Really? Do I always make mistakes? 100% of the time? Like, I never, ever have ever gotten anything right in my life, ever? No, that's not true. Because I can list a whole bunch of things in my life that I've gotten right. And even like, let's go, if you really are having a hard time thinking of something where you haven't made a mistake, here's a freebie for you. Go back to school. Did you get zeros on all of your tests and all of your assignments, and all you ever did was make mistakes and all you ever did was fail? No, heck no. I mean, really, seriously, I know that you couldn't possibly have had zeros on absolutely everything, because just even if you weren't paying attention and even if you were just guessing, you're still going to get at least 25% of those answers correct. So there you go. You don't always make mistakes. You haven't always 100% of the time always made mistakes. So fun little tip for when the gremlins pop up, question them. Question them. They start to disappear when you question them. And there's a way to question them too, because if you go, like, let's say a gremlin pops up and it's like, oh, you always make mistakes. And then you go, oh yeah, well, okay, when have I made mistakes? Your gremlin will go, aha, I have a running list. Here you are, let me tick it off, right? So it really is important about the question that you're asking the stupid little gremlin that's popping up on your shoulder. Like the question, like, really? I always make the mistakes? Really? And then also doing some work around what your beliefs and philosophy is about certain things. So for example, oh, I'm just a failure, right? So let's talk about that. You know, do some work around your beliefs about failure, okay? So do you believe that if someone makes a mistake or fails at someone, that makes them a failure? So if you don't believe that about another person, then why would you believe that about yourself? So there you have it, my friends. A fun little blurb about the nasty little gremlins that come up and something you can do to squash them and shove them out of your life forever. Now, they're probably always going to pop up at some point. You're just going to get better at minimizing them, pushing them aside, and focusing on the truth of the situation and who you truly are, because who you truly are is amazing and wonderful and beautiful. And don't forget that. I will talk to you guys next time. See you next week, Thursdays at noon. Again, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit subscribe. I'll talk to you soon.